Alright, so I'm here in Colin Nathan's man cave at the Hot Box Gym. Firstly, Viva, how are you?
Yeah, Viva, and it's great to have your memory card with us after last week's flop.
So just to fill people in at home, didn't bring my memory card last week, so that's why we're kind of doing this again. But it's cool. I mean, you never know. More information, talking about other things unfold. Let's first start off with actually yesterday's event that happened. Dlamini and Tete took all but 55 seconds to clear out his Tanzanian opponent. What did you think?
Well, it was expected. Let's be real. I don't think the Tanzanian kid was going to give any sort of resistance. And I think he caved in. Well, I don't think. We saw him cave in after one hard body shot, which was a pearl of a shot. But I like him. He looked good at junior featherweight, nice and tight as well. And he's clearly outgrown the bantamweight division. And one thing you don't have to do as a line is teach him how to punch hard. So it was a good result.
And which
expected result, like I said.
And he's expected to fight Jason Cunningham next, as per what they said. What do you think about that one?
No, he should walk through him. Should beat him. Should beat him.
Your fight of the night from yesterday?
Sure. It's a good question. Do I have a favorite fight? Maybe the last fight, except I just thought that stoppage was pathetic. They should have stopped the fight way earlier. It was a fun fight though, but
yeah,
we also need to look at that took way too long for that fight to be stopped. You kind of like dicing with death,
Yeah.
So it's just horrible to watch towards the end.
All right, and going back to your boxers, and let's start with Dlamini because he recently cleaned up another boxer, again, another undefeated boxer that he took out in 2 rounds. What were your thoughts on him and his performance?
Yeah, so he was solid. Again, you got to look at the opposition, wasn't on his level, but he did the right thing. You got to take that kind of opposition out, and then he whacked him out in 2 rounds. Good performance, very impressed. Fought the fight at catchweight because I didn't want to jeopardize anything at featherweight, so him coming in a catchweight contest was actually my doing. So now we're going to see what's next. I'm busy working on that now.
Does it? I know that he's expected to do what he did, but that's not every boxer. So that just clarifies him and makes him like a world level boxer, correct?
Yeah, exactly. And it's the same kind of performance that Tete had. The guy's not on your level, and it's okay, but you take care of business. You get the guy out of there as fast as you can, and that's what they did.
All right, and then going to the USA, another trip that you made recently. A disappointing result with a Zinger Fuzzy. I know that you were confident that he would get the job done. However, that didn't happen.
Yeah, and I think you were confident too. So very disappointing. I just think he made schoolboy errors, particularly with the right hand from Agawa that he just couldn't figure out. Not quite sure what the game plan was, but I just thought there were schoolboy errors, and it's a fight that he could have won. He really could have won because after 11 rounds, with the knockdown in the 5th round, 2 judges had him behind by 1 point, and the 3rd judge had it level. So had he won the last round, it would have been a draw. 1 judge would have actually voted for him. So if you think about it, had he pressed the advantage and had he closed the gap and fought in the pocket, I really think it could have been a different result. But, in hindsight, we all are experts, but very disappointing, and that's boxing, I guess.
Where does he go from here?
It's a very good question. I think the road back's going to be pretty tough. Can he get back into contention? Of course he can. Depends who's going to be behind it, but inevitably it's a hard road back. And I'm not wondering if the cracks of life are starting to show now. Let's see what the next step is.
All right, and then on to the international consultancy you do for Rumble Africa. Stephen Chinga never got his chance to go overseas. Again, he'll get that chance in the future, but what did you think of the postponement, at least for now?
Well, look, we kind of figured that was the situation. Flights were being cancelled. I was lucky to get a flight back. Yeah. 2 of my flights got cancelled, so I was just very lucky to catch a direct flight back, like Shades of Russia all over again, without the COVID. So when I got the mail from Golden Boy, it's not like I was shocked. I was like, we were anticipating it. So I believe he'll hold on to his mandatory. The time frame now might be a little longer. They might go to the next available contender for the mandatory. But I've written to the IBF, obviously, preserving his mandatory position. And if need be, we could do a warm-up fight like Dlamini did last weekend, and then take it from there. But obviously, we don't want to lose our position, and I don't think we will.
Right,
because of the pandemic. This is out of our control.
Yeah. I mean, as you said, but New York's not a bad place to get stuck with if you don't have COVID as well. I mean, that's
Well, I've got family there, so it's pretty cool. It was good hanging out in the Big Apple, you know.
And from yourself personally, networking, anything that you got done that side?
Yeah, of course. I had a couple of meetings. It was pretty cool. Met some nice people.
You had a chat with Eddie Hearn as well?
Yeah, of course. Of course. We did the deal together, so of course. Yeah, it was cool. It's cool seeing him. We actually spoke about the time he came out to South Africa in the early 90s. And he was hanging out. It was his dad and Mike Siegel did Chris Eubank Sr. and Dan Sharma at Sun City. And we're discussing that fight. And because we got mutual friends, so we're discussing our mutual friend. And it was just great hanging out with him.
All right, and let's go back to South Africa. It's just news around the country. Obviously, the controversy that surrounded the sort of social media and obviously what happened in the ring at the venue. Can you run us through your thoughts on that thing that happened with the WBA?
So, yeah, I mean, I think the question we need to ask, right, is what we saw last Saturday night, was it fair? And I'm actually going to ask you that question. Do you think it was fair?
Well, according to the laws, no. That was an incorrect decision.
So when you say laws, you're talking about the rules and regulations of the WBA, right? So there's a clear indication that under section, I believe it's section E, under the championship, contest, that there are 3 knockdown rules. You can't justify anything else. If it's in the rules, I think it's a silly rule. But the point is, it's still a rule. And you've got to abide by the rules. It's like governs it to be the WBA, right? So I don't think it was fair. From a personal perspective, if you had to ask me who do I like more, Rourke or Cristiano, I like Rourke more. He's in the gym for a few years, saw him grow. So, but do I think the situation is fair? No, I don't think it's fair. I think the best thing to do is to, and you've read in our reports, I read the Sunday Times yesterday actually, where the supervisor admits that the referee made a mistake. But surely the supervisor has the authority to signal to the referee. It was like, well, 3 knockdown rules. Because the referee can make a mistake. Like, we accept that. I don't think you should penalize Rourke. Because inevitably you can't, both Cristiano and Rourke did what they were supposed to do. Cristiano knocked Rourke down, went to the neutral corner, no issue. Rourke, in fairness to him, beat the count. He beat what Tony was giving him. So you can't penalize. Also, there was a 4th round. But what I think would be fair, and again, in boxing, it's not really fair, is it? To declare the bout a no contest. I don't think you should award the bout a TKO victory for Ndumbasi because you can't penalize Rourke. It's not his fault. He did what he was required to do. But do I think the referee made a mistake? Yes. And equally with the supervisor now admitting in the Sunday Times yesterday in the piece to David Isaacson that, he's got to take responsibility. You can't just blame it's your fight. The supervisor's not just there for the athletes. The supervisor's there to supervise the officials. And, the stuff about, the referee's assault, okay, but that's why you're the supervisor. And we've seen it been done before. And I just thought that, I thought there was a big screw up. I just didn't think it was fair. And it's definitely cost a black eye in South African boxing. I mean, that just was not cool.
So my gripe, in the beginning, at least now it's surfacing that there was an issue with the WBA and that's sort of going to be rectified. But my gripe in the beginning was that a lot of the focus was put on the fighters and negativity towards the likes of Rourke and Ndumbasi equally, which is incorrect.
No, it's not fair on the athletes. It's definitely not fair on the athletes. They did what they had to do, So you can't take it out on the fighters. The fighters were there to fight, and that's what they did, The fact that Ndumbasi, quit the start of the 5th round, well, that I don't know what was going through his mind at the time. But, I just think that the Bryces have a very strong case and argument for an appeal and protest, just based on the evidence. This is, the thing is, you appeal a decision, right? When it goes to the scorecards, and that's very subjective. But there's clear evidence there were 3 knockdowns. You can't escape that because it was on a national broadcaster. And also now with the supervisor coming out saying the referee made a mistake. well, yeah, it's your title. It's you are under your supervision.
Yeah.
So I think the evidence and the room for argument is quite clear. And I've had my issues with Emil and Alan Dillon over the years. I mean, but that aside, I think they've got a very strong case.
All right, so I want to move over to some more positive news now as well. I know that obviously it's actually a long debate that a lot of things will happen in the future with the WBA and the rules. But ESPN has hit Africa and an introduction almost immediately. January it kicks off. What are your thoughts on them entering the broadcast here?
Well, you and I were discussing this off camera for a while now, and in my interviews previously with you, I said there's going to be new platforms, and this is one of the new platforms. So it's just exciting for not only for South African boxing, I actually think it's exciting for the boxers because they are the first prize. Without them, you and I wouldn't be sitting here doing an interview, and we wouldn't have any relevance. So the athletes always come first, and it's about them. It's not about you and I. So the more of a platform there is, the better it is for them. And I'm very excited about it.
Well, I mean, that news article broke. I mean, the announcement of what they're going to do, it looks promising. I mean, obviously, you can't expect maybe to sign the Dlamini and Tete Butler in the beginning, but I mean, it looks like there is going to be at least a lot of action happening.
Well, why can't you? Why can't you? Yeah, I mean, listen, they're talking about a show month, which is great. And it's just great. I mean, like we've often discussed this like dream. That can you imagine there's just so many platforms and fights that there's just not enough boxers in the country for these cards. And I mean, that would be like an amazing achievement if we could do that. So again, it goes back to what I'm saying, the fighters come first, and the more opportunity for them, the better it is for boxing in this country.
What a huge international company they are as well. I mean, we all know ESPN from the United States of America, and they're expanding their web now all over the world. So it can only benefit us. I suppose in a way it benefits everyone because everyone might have a chance at this as well.
Yeah, listen, all fighters need a platform, and and COVID's really screwed things up the last 2 years. It really has. It's like and I was like, I've lost 2 years of the sport, and I think it's going to be particularly good for the young fighters starting out, the 4-rounders and the 6-rounders. I think there's going to be a lot of opportunity for them. And I thought this 2 years before COVID, and things stagnated obviously because of the virus. But I think now, people getting vaccinated, the 4th strain's not as deadly, you could say, as the 3rd and 2nd strain. So I think we're going to be in a healthy state in the next 6 to 12 months. I said that to you in the last interview we did, and I'm going to say it again.
Right. And well, let's move over to our very next fight for you is Ishmael Kadri in Cape Town. Finally, he gets in the ring. I mean, he's had a couple of postponements, but he gets his opportunity to have his first fight. What is your thoughts? Yeah,
and you're going to be in the corner with me. And you're licensed through BSA, so there's going to be no drama there. So yeah, so looking forward to his future. He's a very young, promising kid, lots of potential, and I'm glad he's making his debut down in Cape Town. So looking forward to him being successful.
Yeah, he's a kid that obviously at the beginning of the year there was a lot of talk about, with the signing, everything like that. But the fact that it's taken so long, I mean, obviously COVID's had its part to play in this.
Yeah, I'm full of COVID, eh? I'm full. I'm just so fucking over it, to be honest with you. Like seriously. Like, guys are testing positive. Oh, okay, cool. Cool. Just don't end up in a Russian hospital for 4 weeks. But I mean, it's just like ideally not. Yeah, I mean, and there's going to be a 5th strain and a 6th strain. It just depends on how we all, manage it.
Yeah. All right. Is there anything I haven't mentioned that you would like to say?
No, it's just good seeing you again, bro.
Good seeing you. I always ask all the good questions and everything like that.
Yeah, because you're a good oak.
Good oak. Great. I mean, some people would say great, but
see you in Cape Town.
See you in Cape Town, and Viva Cole.
Viva SA Boxing Talk. Let's go, champ. Let's go.